got to be still reeling from the events of a moment ago. What a turn on that last play.
You're knocking on the door. You're about to take it in. You think you're going to get some points on the board. Instead, you cough it up and watch them take it the rest of the way to the opposite end zone. That's a two-score swing that you just gave up.
Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 26. Now Roethlisberger. And incomplete as he was knocked as he threw it. And it took the ball off course. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh, boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. Second and 10 now. It's Roethlisberger. Going deep here for Landry. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. Going back to Landry. This time he's got him complete. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down. Here's Jordan Berry now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And he'll go ahead and field this at the 5. Now a hit and a loose football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And he's in for 6 and a Steeler touchdown. A big play there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Steelers have now made this a one-score game. Extra point was hooking, but he does make it through. And it's now 13-7. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And here now come the Falcons. And the interception thrown in the red zone last time. We'll see if they can rebound.
I just have to think the last thing he said as they went back out there was, don't do that again. What do you think?
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that. I think that not only did he say that, but he also told him, let's put it in the end zone that it's supposed to be in, all right? The end zone we're trying to score. I know we're being a little bit facetious here, but the bottom line is take care of the football, and everything else should flow from there.
Quick lesson, never ask the play-by-play guy a question.
Hey, you're my partner. I know you're right there with me.
So this helps to start a drive. After the penalty, it'll be 1st and 5. Ryan. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5.
Right. 11. 25.
Now Ryan on 2nd down. Looking deep for Julio. That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, Falcons. Julio Jones. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Falcons are able to show off their quick strike ability. And oh, it's no good. For the 2nd time now in this first half, he's missed an extra point. Here's Bosher to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
Now Roethlisberger to throw on second down. And McDonald here over the middle. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march up another 15 against your squad.
And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 11. Here's Roethlisberger. They'll roll him out right. He'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. And, he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. So they will accept the penalty and move forward. The penalty moves him into the red zone here on 1st and 10. Off the play fake. Here's Roethlisberger. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Vic Beasley in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
So if we recount real quick, he had the touchdown earlier, and now he comes up with the sack here. No doubt about it, he's having himself a game.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on 2nd down. They run with Connor. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. To throw here, Roethlisberger. Looking for Landry, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 14. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. He was looking for Landry that time.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
After the interception, here's Ryan. And he gets this one to Ridley complete. Shedding the tackler that gives him some room. He's at the 40, 20, 10. Touchdown, Falcons. Calvin Ridley, 87 yards. And the Falcons will add on to their lead. And, Charles, I had an offensive coordinator tell me one time that they design every play to score. I don't know how true that is. They had to run a long way after that catch. Heck of a play.
I think that when he was telling you that, he was designing run after catch in every play. I mean, that's the only way to put it in there, and that's what we got on that one. Nice catch, an even better run for big yardage.
The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. And 2 interceptions thrown here in this first half. You hear it no matter the sport, they say the great athletes they can kind of have a short-term memory, but that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done, but I played with a guy who threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter of a really big game we were playing.
Johnny Unitas?
And no, not quite of that level and not of that age. But I was
going for the age.
I remember looking over at him, and he was smiling. And I thought, what is he smiling about? It's because he had enough confidence in himself that that was a fluke. And he went out and played pretty well the rest of the day.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first. Two minutes to go here in the first half. Back to Heinz Field after this.
Here we go.
Here's Counter. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
They'll throw on first down with Roethlisberger. An incomplete. Crisis averted. Almost picked. Instead, second down.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Now it's Counter. Oh, he trucked him. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The Steelers picking up 15 yards there and a first down.
But we just saw him run the football really effectively there with 3 tight ends in the game. And any defensive coordinator, when they see that set, if they can get more bodies out onto the field, not more than 11, of course, but bigger bodies to combat what they're going to do, because that's a run-heavy formation. Those guys are out there to block 9 times out of 10. And in this case, they did it really successfully.
Roethlisberger now off the bootleg. That is incomplete. Good coverage that time by the linebacker, Deion Jones.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. And the Steelers on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This will be 3rd and 6. Now it's Roethlisberger finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage. Back at the 17. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side, but they lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
So they put together a good little drive there, but ultimately stalling out in the red zone.
Yeah, I know a lot of people look at it as a little bit of a negative. They didn't get 6 points out of it, right? Didn't get the touchdown. But that's actually okay. They got 3 points, able to give their defense a little bit of rest, let them settle down over there. So all in all, to me, that's a good drive.
They'll throw on first down with Ryan. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10 now. Ryan. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play.
Left.
Throwing now, Ryan on first down. On the slant, he gets it to Clark. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
12. Hey, Tuesday.
On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass. 2nd and 10. It's Ryan again. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10.
Hey, let's go. Let's go.
Throwing again, Ryan. And he comes back with one complete. Touchdown, Falcons. Matt Ryan connecting on his 4th touchdown pass of the ball game. And the Falcons will extend their lead.
That's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. And now out come the Steelers. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
Being chased out left. So we have reached halftime now with the visiting Falcons out on top. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. The Falcons back to receive. They've got the lead, and they'll get this football as the second half gets underway. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Here are the Falcons as their offense heads back onto the field. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Ryan. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Mike Hilton. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. But they needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the third quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break, taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
Connor, and he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
The best offenses and the ones that win are ones that make adjustments. And right now, I think this team needs to open things up.
They stay on the ground. Here's Connor again. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is third and long. Now Roethlisberger. He's got his man on the crossing route. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A gain of 19 and picking up the first. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? So they jumped on the left side of that line.
And you know when you're at the end spot, you are like in the starting blocks, waiting for the pistol to fire and go, and he jumped a little bit too early.
Now a chance to make that encroachment penalty really hurt. 1st and 5. From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And Big Ben intercepted a third time. Picked up by Keanu Neal. He's at the 50. The 30. And a terrific return as he takes this thing all the way down near the 20-yard line. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now. That's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost as if they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
Here's Ryan. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a third down. Well, they were handed great starting field position on this drive, but now they face a 3rd and 4. Here's Ryan. And he's got his star receiver. It's Jones for the Falcon touchdown. Matt Ryan now with 5 touchdown passes on the afternoon. And the Falcons use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Tavecchio good on the extra point. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Here's Bosher to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because his confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm?
And he's got daylight. It's a foot race. The 20. And mark him down all the way inside the Atlanta 20. It's a big play there for the Steelers. 59 yards for him on the ground. Line of scrimmage moves from their own 25 all the way to the red zone now for 1st and 10. Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Up from his linebacker spot, Deion Jones making the play.
Here comes the boom. Here we go. Set. Blue 30.
And they'll go on the ground. He will push his way down to about the 14. Just a couple there on the 2nd down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level, because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. So the offense a little antsy. The flag comes out, and a 5-yard penalty. Oh, jumping early from his tight end spot. Maybe trying to get a jump start on that route.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right about that. And oftentimes when you see that, that means the play call was supposed to come in his direction, and he was eager to go catch a pass.
Now Ben on 3rd and long. Got his man. It's caught for a Steelers touchdown. Jarvis Landry, his first touchdown on the year. And the Steelers are able to close the gap just a bit. Point after, up and good. And that'll cut the lead back down to 21. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And penalty markers down on the field. And they might be backing up a bit here to start the drive. They were trying to create some space to run. They created the penalty.
And you work on it so much. You work on it so hard. But it's tough to simulate game speed in practice. That often runs you into a penalty.
So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10.
39. 20. 20. 5, 25 to 9.
On 1st down, Ryan. He'll rifle this one deep right side. So they took a shot on 1st down but couldn't connect.
Well, I guess we just discovered that someone is certainly not going to sit back and just take it in this game, huh?
No, they were trying to get that touchdown back in one shot.
One shot, trying to help out his defense and let the other team know they were coming after him.
11. Go.
A fake to Freeman. Now it's Ryan. Looking downfield for Jones. And got his man complete. A big play there, Ryan to Jones. 46 yards.
I know you don't get anything extra for degree of difficulty, but maybe you should. He's done absolutely everything in this game today, including laying out for that one.
Let's go.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10.
Hey, stop. Let's go.
Now Ryan on 1st down. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete. So the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, 3rd quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
And, he took that in one-handed. What a grab. 23 yards on the play.
Gotta love the catch. I think you gotta love the gloves as well.
Yeah, these one-handed catches, that was great, and they're fun. They become a little more ho-hum right there.
Yeah, they really are. And I know that it sounds like we're taking credit away from the guys, and we don't mean that at all. They really work hard on this one-handed catch thing. I think the gloves have to be helping in a big way.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Gun. Left. Let him go.
To throw again. Ryan dancing to his left. And he whips that one incomplete there. This drive, which was going so smoothly, all of a sudden it's a little bit of a roadblock here with 2 straight incompletions.
Yeah, apparently this defense has had enough. Apparently they're saying no more. We're making a stand right here, right now. But it is 3rd and 10. They've got to get after him one more time.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Now Ryan going to give it to Freeman. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Give him 3 yards there as that'll take us to 4th down. Now Giorgio Tavecchio for the field goal try. Tavecchio puts this one through, and that will extend the lead out to 24. So chalk that down as an 8-play drive, capture the field goal.
Yeah, as a friend of mine used to say, they were moving and grooving for a while, but they couldn't keep the momentum going enough to get a touchdown out of it.
Here's Bosher to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Out comes the Steeler offense now, ready to see what they can do here. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. Throw left side, complete to Smith-Schuster. Back now in Pittsburgh. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Throwing now, Roethlisberger on 1st down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. Over the middle to Beckham. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. That's just his 2nd catch of the game. They wanted to keep him silent. They have kept him silent.
Defensive football 101. Don't let the best player on offense beat you. Take him out of the game. They've done a great job of doing that.
Roethlisberger now to throw on 3rd down. Buying time to his left. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. The passing game in rhythm right now for Pittsburgh. There's another 1st down.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, it was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice 1st down.
Now it's Roethlisberger. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Tack McKinley in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. Here's Roethlisberger to throw. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Ryan will bring the Falcons up now 1st and 10, right at the 30. The drive will start with a carry by Devontae Freeman. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. The tackle there by Mark Barron.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want.
Devontae Freeman, they're not going to get him. Past the 20. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Devontae Freeman, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Falcons add on. And, my friend, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much deceased at this point. It's taken a knee, so to speak.
It is definitely this victory formation. Take the snap, take the knee, call it a night, call it a game, call it whatever. I agree with you totally. I don't think there's much left to get except for those who want to run up the score.
I knew this was over about a minute ago when you took your stat sheet and just flipped it over your shoulder in the trash can.
Yeah, that's similar to the guys cutting tape off right before the game's over. We know this thing's done.
The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. And my goodness, another interception. It's Desmond Trufant, and the return stops at the 39-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
Now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. After the penalty, here's Freeman. A solid pickup at 13 sets him up 1st and goal.
Well, partner, Marvin, our #1 stats guy, just handed me a little card that says he has 97 yards on the ground today. You think he's going to get the ball again?
I think so. 3 away from that century mark. Got to have it.
Yeah, and I think what they're going to call is one of his favorite runs, whatever he feels comfortable with, and what the offensive line has executed well today to try and get him over 100 yards.
Hey, we got 4. Got left.
On the keeper, here's Ryan. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to...
And he will take it in for a Falcon touchdown. Matt Ryan taking it in. And the Falcons use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. And he pushed it right. It's no good. Here's Bosher to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. Now the Steelers offense gets ready to get back onto the field. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator?
Let's go.
Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership.
54's Mike.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. On second down, Roethlisberger. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up fourth down. Here's Jordan Berry now as he's on to punt for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, baby.
And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And this will be taken at the 13. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. The fourth down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down.
Tight end right.
They'll run with Freeman here to begin the drive. Fighting down past the 45. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
Get up!
On second down, Freeman. 20! And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. A big run there, 29 yards and a first.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. Breaks a tackle. Still staying on his feet. Are you serious? 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. I think this defense tired of seeing him run the football, and this D-line probably getting sick of the O-line as well.
And as I'm watching this, I'm thinking about a conversation I had with Adam Gase, the head coach of the Miami Dolphins in the offseason.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
And not too much going there as he'll get it up to the 23-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Again, it's Connor. And he'll be taken down here at about the 23-yard line. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive.